と、I'm hearing myself. Okay. The volume. Okay, the volume was a little bit too high. Ah, the chat is so small. Why? Wait. Ah, hello everyone. I cannot see the chat because it's so small. I'm back after like a month, a little more than a month. Gonna say hi to you just in a second. Gotta change some settings because I haven't been because all my settings got messed up. Is it bigger now? Um maybe if I that should be better. But it's just maybe if I do this. Ah, I made it disappear. What did I do? That's a bit better. Is it? Ah, but the chat here is so small. Hmm. Um. Um. Okay. Should be better now. I think. I'm not sure. Hmm. It's still kind of big. No, now it's too short. Yeah, that should be better. Ah, but for 350. That that hmm. Still kinda small. Okay, this should be better. Ah, I like it. I like it. But I think that's no a little bit smaller. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. Yay! I like it like that. Okay, so sorry everyone for I think you could say spacing out. 'Cause I'm ditching a little bit the settings. Cause I lost all my settings when my brother uh had to reset the computer, reboot the computer, whatever you call it. So I lost everything. I had to do everything all over again. So yeah. So hello everyone. My eyebrows are going to be a little bit weird today because I'm using my glasses and not contact lenses. So yeah. I'm gonna say hello to everyone since I haven't been paying attention to the chat. Hello Leah, hello Frank, hello Kitty Girl, hello hello Angie, hello Jumiya. What else? What else? Hello Bree! Hello Han! Hello Lolita! Hello Elaine! It's been such a long time! I miss you all so much. I'm happy I'm back too. I'm happy to be back. I'm really happy to be back. I miss you. I'm not gonna stay too long for today. Just doing lines today. Virtual hug. That I'm finishing my coffee. Chicken says hi. Tell Chicken hi for me too. Hope Chicken can come later. So yeah, it's been it's been a long time, hasn't it? Almost 2 months. One month and something. Did I stream in January? I did, right? For two weeks, or has it been 1 month? I'm really not quite sure. But yeah, I missed y'all. It's been such a long time. I had things planned to talk about, and I was so nervous that I forgot. I forgot what I wanted to talk about. Um, but I was getting so anxious before starting streaming because the old like screen mirror app that I used to use it wasn't working. I mean, I had to reinstall every software back again because like I told you guys I lost everything, every file, every setting, everything. um and and I had to reinstall everything again. I remember my screen mirror app was called a power mirror, I believe, and I installed it and it didn't let me see the screen. So I was freaking out trying to find a new screen mirror application. And that was like I've been trying to figure it out for like an hour or more since like 450 around 450 440, because I was like I'm going to prepare beforehand, like going to going to have everything ready before coming back. I mean before starting the stream. And I wanted to be early for once in my life. uh, so I was doing that. And then I realized I couldn't use that application anymore, that app anymore for some reason. I started to freak out, and I couldn't find any software that work, because most of them are one, paid, and second, they use AirPlay, and I don't want to use AirPlay. I want to use USB. Um, because AirPlay lags too much. I don't like it. Maybe if I had like a better iPad, it wouldn't lag, but uh, anyways. So at the end, after 1.5 hours or a little bit more, I found this software that actually is almost the same that the one that I was using. It's so weird because the layout is the same, um, and every setting is the same, and it works exactly the same. Uh, and the UI is also the same. And actually, when you see the screen, in some places it says the name of the other software. So it was kind of weird. I was like, is this the same software? And then I thought maybe I was actually using this one, but I thought it was the other one. So yeah, it's kind of a confusing story, to be honest. But yeah. So how are you guys? What have you guys done in like this time that we were apart from each other? So dramatic. It's been it's been 3 weeks. Oh, it hasn't been even 2 months. It hasn't even been 1 month, but it felt like 2 months. I swear it felt like 2 months, almost a month. It felt for me. It felt like 2 months. You love the Animal Crossing New Horizon remix? Yeah, it's a lo-fi remix that I found. I really like it. How did I draw that line so smoothly? Cause I have like stabilization. If you see my stabilization is like 35, so it's quite high. It's quite high. If you guys notice, I changed my brush again. Because when I came back from my hiatus, from drawing and all, I wasn't confident in my lines. So I was using this brush. I was using this brush, like in this size. Because it's a little bit like thicker. And I before my hiatus I used this brush. No wait, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. It was this one. I was using this one, and I didn't feel confident about using that one, so I changed to the one that I told you about. This one that is a little bit smoother. If you can see, it's smooth. Um, and it's like easier to control. But what I didn't like is that you couldn't use vector layers without with colors. Like I like to use vector layers because it's easier to erase. For example, I can do that, and because I'm in vector layer, I can just erase in different settings. For example, if I use this one, I just erase that line. If I use this one, I just cut the line. And if I use the one that I like to use is this one, that it erases until it touches a different vector or line. So yeah. So after like a couple, like 2 pages in last episode, if you guys saw the last episode of Blank, like after 2 pages, I wanted to try using a thin brush once again. Uh, So I'm using this one now. What's the difference between the one that I was using and the one that I'm using now is that I have like a little bit more control of the pressure. Um, like for example, the other one, it's like this. And the other like finish, the finish of the other one isn't like in a point sometimes. It's a little bit hard to explain, but you can see it. So yeah, let's erase it and keep working. So yeah, that's the reason I changed the brushes that I was using. I still use the other one though, but for illustrations. For example, the two last full illustrations fan arts that I put on Instagram are done with the old brush. I like to use that one for for like more full illustrations because I like that feeling of um how would I describe it? Like that it was painted, that it wasn't so robotic like. I don't know. Because sometimes I feel like these lines are a little bit too robotic. I know that the proper word is not robotic, but yeah. See, I'm gonna catch up with the chat because I wasn't reading it. Are you going to school now? What time is it there? Is it afternoon classes? You've been chilling and planning to get an iPad finally, but I keep debating which one to get to work with me. I recommend an iPad Pro because even for my iPad, that is an iPad Pro second generation, sometimes the software crashes. So the better generation you can get, it would be better. But I used second gen, and even for second gen, you can work around it. Like it works fine. But of course, if you can get a better one, I would recommend, especially with Apple Pencil, a second gen and upwards, just because you can charge it, like putting it on top and stuff. Your family got a kitten? Are your demon dogs going to kill the kitten though? I would be afraid of that. This, your dogs are kinda crazy. Oh yeah, did you name her? The kitten? I think I might get the iPad Air 4 Gen because I don't want a big tablet and it's really similar to the iPad Pro. Uh, Check the processor. What is important is the processor. iPad Airs have a little bit worse of a processor. For drawing, you have to check the processor and the RAM. That's the most important part, more than the size. So because you want something that is going to run smoothly and is not going to crash, but any iPad that is like the newer generations are good. Just that iPad Pro had have better processors and more stable. So yeah, check the processors, compare those because you don't want your pencil to lag when you're doing like a heavy or big file. Your sis wants to call her dumpling because she's white. And your cousin put it thick. And your dad wants to call her Yuki. Is your dad a weeb? Because Yuki is a Japanese name. Yeah, it means snow. Yuki is a cute name though. Just asking if he's a weeb because weeb weebs often like Japanese names, like myself. I like Japanese names too. But Dumpling is cute too. So between Yuki and Dumpling, they are both nice names. By the way, is the audio okay? Because I struggled a lot resetting everything. You can take a while for new pets to get used to their surroundings. Yeah, my budgie took like 2 weeks to start singing, and it took him like more than a month to trust me and not freak out. Your mom and brother have been arguing since my mom also wants to call her popcorn or whiskey. Your brother hates it and wants to call her Rukia. I am for Dumpling and Yuki team. You have no school because the weather? All right, isn't it winter for you guys? It's summer for me, so it's quite hot. The iPad 4 generation looks really similar to iPad Pro, just different camera and other stuff. Check the processor of the iPad Pro second gen and compare it to iPad 4. If it's the processor and the RAM are better than iPad Pro second gen, then I would recommend it. And the memory, you have to consider the memory as well. Have I seen the new ones? I think the newer one that was announced, it's similar to the generation before that, but like better camera. And for an artist, you don't really need the camera, so. You've been able to calm them down, the dogs, with bribes. Somehow work a deal with the dog that they got more fillet. Do dogs understand deals though? Is your dad a whip? Does it sound me? My dad isn't a whip. I think he's part Japanese actually, and the audio is fine. Oh, if he's part Japanese, then it's understandable. Well, if 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 he's like a weeb, that's understandable as well. But if he's Japanese, it's even more understandable. Will I be your Valentine? Oh, it's the first time that someone asked me that. But like, what does it mean to be someone's Valentine? To be honest, I spent my Valentine alone for like more than 5 years now, 6, 7 years. I don't know how long has it been. Actually, my last Valentine that I had with someone was awful, so I don't like Valentine's Day at all. But I want to buy some chocolate to make myself some. I wanna make nama chocoreto. I think mine is 64 gigabytes too. I'm not sure. But um I pay for subscription. Your sis is a proclaimed dog whisperer. That's funny. But if she is, I believe her. My storage fills so quickly and it's 80 gigabytes. Yeah. Nowadays, not even not even 128 gigabytes are enough, to be honest. You still have to pay for iCloud storage, for iCloud storage. Any advice for storytelling? Mm, I would say read a lot and write a lot for storytelling. Because the more you write, the better you get. But also there's like an advice that I want to tell myself as well, and I often tell, and that I still have to learn a lot. It's tell is show and not tell. I am saying like that I have to learn myself as well because last episodes of Lang had been a lot of tell more than showing, but that's because it's June telling Nina's story. So yeah, but this episode is a little bit more of showing. But yeah, that's an advice that an artist gave me once, cause in the past I did go to like, how would you call it? It's not a class. It's like a little seminar, but it wasn't actually a seminar because it was like one day, uh, yearly, and I went like twice. And this artist that is like a renowned comic artist in my country. Uh, Actually, it's funny because he's not so renowned for his comic work, but more for appearing on TV. Because when we were younger, when I was younger, he did appear on TV teaching people how to draw. And actually, I learned a lot of like my like the basic drawing stuff from him. He would appear like in the anime afternoon, because there was like these afternoon shows that started like at 4 p.m. And he would appear there and teach young people how to draw. So I learned a lot from that. It was basic stuff, like for example, drawing with X and sausages, things like that. I actually don't do that anymore, or at least not with that mindset. So yeah, and so how long was it? It was like in 2012 and 2014, I believe. He did some seminars in my city. Like I said, it's not like a seminar. It was just like a talk for once once a year. Um, and he said that when you're making a comic, what is most important is how you show something, because you get the audiences engaged when you show rather than tell. Like showing how a character does something instead of saying that the character is one or another way, right? And he explained it in this way. He said that you have to practice trying to tell a short story without any dialogues. And if people can understand that, like the action that is happening without any dialogues, then you have like you are doing a good job. Because a lot of people, and it doesn't only happen in comics, but it also happens in movies as well, that they, instead of showing how a character is, they explain it, and that's not as engaging. It's really not as engaging. It's like you have to give your audience kind of a leverage for them to interpret things themselves, right? I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. I don't know where I was going, but the thing is, show more than tell. It's fine to tell sometimes, but you cannot base your whole narrative in just telling. It's showing as well. Because if not, you just should just write a book, right? The importance of comic storytelling or webtoon or manga is showing it with actions, with scenes. What else? What else can I say about that? I was going to say something more, but I just forgot. I lost my point. Hello, Cass. I want to draw on the iPad so you can already guess. I remember what I was going to say. To keep your ideas organized, following like the storytelling conversation that we were having your ideas written down. There's different ways of doing it, and everyone does it like different. It depends in your preference, really, but it's important to have all your ideas written down because especially if you're like me that you forget things quite easily, even if you don't write scripts, because I know a lot of people that don't like to write scripts, uh, that are better conveying just what they tell without the need of writing anything. But even for that kind of people, it's good to have something organized, like at least a bullet points, and that also helps you to organize the story because you cannot have like how do you say, plot holes. Because if you don't organize it, you're bound to have plot holes, except if you're like a genius or something. But yeah, write all your ideas down and try to organize it. Even if you don't write a script, it's not necessary to write a script for everyone. A lot of people don't like to do it. A lot of people find it boring to write, and I can understand that. I actually do like to write. In my case, I do like to write, but um, when I write too much of a story, uh, since I know that I'm not too fast at drawing, then I tend to get impatient and get bored of the stories. So when I write my episodes, I will write first. I have an outline of what I want to happen. For example, I know what exactly will happen, like in a general idea, from here to the ending of season one, and I have the really, really, really broad and general idea of what I want to happen in season two. Um, and then I will write 3 episodes per time. I've said that a couple of times already in other streams, but yeah, I generally write from 2 to 3 episodes in advance, and then I draw that and then write more. But whenever I have a new idea, I will write it down so I don't forget. And other things that I do is sometimes like a scene pops up in my mind, and I will write it down, even if the scene is like really, really, really far away from what the story is right now. I will try to connect the plot to that scene. So yeah. So write things down. Try to be organized with your ideas so you don't lose them. It's important not to lose them. And that lesson I learned in the hard way, because I didn't like to write scripts either. When like in the past, I didn't like to write scripts because it's the problem that I told you about, that I get bored easily with my stories if I write too much of them. So my solution at what point was just not write it at all. But when you don't write it at all, what happened to me is that you kind of forget the plot or what you wanted to write in the first place. Like asking myself after a while, like, where did I want to go with the story? What else would I want to happen after this? Like, what's the point of the story? And I didn't have the answers for those questions because I didn't write them down and I forgot. So I started a story and then I didn't know where I wanted to go with it because I had forgotten. It happened to my first comic. It happened to a lot of my stories actually. Um, that I would start them and then don't know where to go after that. After like 2 episodes or 3 episodes. So yeah. So you have to find your sweet spot. For me, I try to do the not writing anything strategy and just drawing with the flow and making things while doing it, and it didn't work for me. So you have to find your sweet spot. My sweet spot is that um, I will write a different, like 2 to 3 episodes, and then work with that and go back whenever I finish those. And it also gives you like a sense of fulfillment, or at least for me, like I completed this, or I want to finish this, so I draw the next episode, something like that. But when the reach is like too far away, like I want to draw 5 episodes from now, then I really lose a lot of. I lose motivation pretty quickly. But like I'm telling you, it's different for everyone. Some people like to write the things from start to end. Some people like to um, not write at all. Some people will write the outlines, like the general idea, things like that. Um, I think I had background on here. Oh yeah, but I have to delete the 3D model. But by the way, I don't know if I told you guys, but I got my new keyboard, so I'm using my new keyboard now, and I love it so much. I really, really love it. I'm really happy that uh, I have it, and that I chose this one. It's an A Jazz. It's called A Jazz, but I still have to sell the other one. I wonder if I'll be able to sell it. I'm gonna buy chocolate and call it a day. Oh, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Yeah, I want to prepare something for myself, but not anything complicated. You're on a diet? Fuck the diet. Just for Valentine. You wouldn't dub it? Ever since she came back home, the doggos have been so well behaved. Oh, that's cute. But then teach her, no, ask her to teach you how to have them in control and what like her mindset is. When you do that, when you learn how to treat your dogs, you learn to behave with them, then you have control. A lot of people think that training a dog is just training the dogs, but it comes from a mindset from the person as well. So it's like training yourself to train your dogs. Ask her how she does it, and then you can learn that for yourself as well. It's just me, or you can make up stories right off the top of your head, but it's hard to make an actual story. I don't understand the question. Can you repeat that for me? I've been drawing a lot of eyes for some reason, but it's really fun. I don't know if I want to draw like realistic or like to the 2D comic style. They're both really cute to me. You can do both. I actually started uh I mean not when I started digital. When I found out, like when I discovered Sakimi-chan, I really like her style. So I wanted to try realism, and I actually was trying to go for realism, for but like a mix of 2D and realism for about 2 years, like from 2015 to 2016 or 17, and then I just gave up. To 2017, and then I just gave up. In 2018, I just, because I wasn't feeling it. The thing about realism is that since it's not my most comfortable style, because I used to be heavily inspired in anime and manga, and I was most comfortable with that. Um, and when I tried realism, even if I do like some of those works, it wasn't like the most comfortable for me, because besides that, it took me really long to finish a piece. It would be at least 2 days to finish a piece, and I wouldn't be totally happy with that. So I wasn't happy doing it, and that was like my problem. And of course, realism is kind of hard to achieve uh, when doing comics. Of course, if you're used to it, you can draw it really quick, like the author of True Beauty. That in my opinion, she has like the sweet spot in between. I couldn't do that. I didn't feel comfortable with that. I actually did take commissions with a more realistic kind of style. If you go back to my works in the beginning of 2018 and the middle, and I was taking commissions for that, and at the end, I felt that I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. I still tried to do it from time to time, but in the end, I always realize that I'm not happy drawing in that way. But I do try to have like to try to do it sometimes, even if it's just for practice and stuff. But you just have to try different styles, and when you find something that you really like and that you feel happy drawing, then that's what that's what you can call your style. In the end, your style is just what you're happy doing and that it feels your own. That's the thing about realism. I didn't feel it was my own. Even even if I did like it, I didn't feel like it was my style, that it came from me, that I enjoyed. But yeah, just try different styles. You don't have to marry to a style. Even if you do decide on a style for yourself, you can change it with time. It's just something like natural. Yeah, drawing eyes is really fun. I like it as well. It was what I used to draw the most, and I actually hated drawing hands in the past. I hated drawing hands, and now I really like it. I like hands a lot. I actually developed a kind of hand fetish in real life because I really like pretty hands. So I converted from a hen hater to a hen lover just by learning to draw hens. You can go like in Pinterest and find references and stuff. I learned to love drawing hens that way. So yeah. But eyes are still one of the things that I like to draw the most. And the typical problem of drawing one eye and not being able to match the other one, the one in the other side, um, it still happens to me, to be honest. You want to learn to be able to make full illustrations? I learned by when I was younger. I learned by watching Sakimi-chan videos. That's why I do them as well. Like speed paints. I used to watch Sakimi-chan speed paints and what's the name? Ilya Kuchinov speed paints, and I would learn from them, and that's why I decided like to make speed paints myself. Although I haven't edited one in a long time from being like too busy. Uh, what is with this hair? To be honest. So yeah, I watch those. I used to watch those, and that's like how I learned to paint digitally, I guess. But painting like them. And then I hardly watch those nowadays though. I sometimes do find some that I like, but yeah, try to learn from other people. Something happened to your dad, I think it was when he was working in stocks, but he had some intel of it and he forgot to buy stocks. And boy, was he pissed and destroyed his computer? What do you mean? What's the context? What's the context of the stonks? Ah, you wish you could, but every other diet you've been on always fell off. But I'm using Weight Watchers this time, so I hope to stay consistent. I don't know. For me, it's like I can be consistent with diets. I've done really hard diets, but not for weight. Uh, Not for weight. It's because I deal with eczema, and I actually just gave up. But after my last diet, it has like improved compared to what it used to be. It used to be really bad. I would go back to it, but like it's hard to start, and it's really expensive as well. It's hard to. The most difficult part of a diet is like. Actually, the most difficult part is not even starting. The most difficult part is the social part of it, because when you see other people eating nice stuff, it's kind of hard to keep it up, you know? Like when I would go full uh vegan, and it was not just regular vegan, it was elimination diet kind of vegan. So it's like vegan, but you can eat even less things than that. You cannot have sugar, you cannot have gluten, you cannot have fries, um, nightshades like tomatoes and stuff, potatoes. You couldn't have a lot of stuff. So yeah, it was a really tough diet. And the saddest part is that it was so bad for me that it was actually affecting my mental health. So I had to quit that diet, and it didn't even help. And then I tried even a harder elimination diet than that one, that it was carnivore. Uh, and that one, going carnivore was like the best thing that could happen uh, for my mental health and also my skin. But it's really hard to maintain it for the social aspect of it, because you cannot have any, like just any type of beef. You have to have like beef cooked just with salt and just with olive oil and in certain conditions. And it's really hard to have those conditions met in a restaurant. So you have to cook everything yourself, and it's also really expensive. So I stayed in that diet for around 3 months, I believe, and it did heal me a lot. But it's difficult for the social aspect. I told you, um, for example, I had to travel after that time, and I had to stop the diet because it's really difficult to accomplish that when you're traveling and you don't have like a place to cook. So yeah, I would say diets are most difficult because of the people around you. Even for me, that I don't go out that often, is difficult. But nowadays, I just, I just don't do it because it's too expensive. And when I started, my mom was the one buying the beef, and now that I have to pay for uh, all my food, it's kind of hard to accomplish. Yeah, going full organic and or full carnivore is really hard because it's expensive. Junk food is cheap. It's bad for your health though. You're so behind of True Beauty. Same. I haven't read True Beauty in a long time, like at least 1 year. You cannot tell me I was the only person who put hands behind girls' back. Yeah, same. I used the same. Or just draw from the torso up. Ah, where did the chat go? Hello, Itzo. You finally got one of the streams. I'm happy you came to say hi. To say hi and to draw along. Nice. Let's draw together. Don't listen what people say. If you feel like you're not fat, then you're not fat. But of course, it's good to like do exercises and stuff. Just I would say just good. Try to cut out sugar and bread. And it's not like you cannot have them, but try to not have them as often. Sugar, bread, or gluten, and dairy. I would say if you cut those out, is quite like is easier to lose weight. Well, even just sugar dairy and gluten is really hard. But you can start with one. Just start with one. For example, sugar. I would put all the sugar and then I add more things. And if you mix that with physical exercise, then you can lose healthy weight and be healthy yourself. So I'm not saying just accept your body and don't do anything or anything like that. No, I'm telling you be healthy. Just be healthy. So because a lot of people do it for society's pressure, uh, societal pressure, and I say you should do it for yourself, for your own health, more than for what other people say. Ah, where did the chat go? It always like I try to scroll down a little bit and it goes all the way down. You started learning Japanese about 2 months ago. Do you have any advice? I don't know any Japanese. I do know some Japanese, but it's not too much. But I've never learned like formally learn. I can give you advice for learning languages though, because I've learned English myself and Chinese, although I haven't practiced for quite a while, so now my Chinese is not that good. But the advice that I can give you is first, if you want to practice writing, write the new words that you learn, write them down like several times, especially the kanjis, uh, and try to use them in an like try to write them with use them in sentences, or at least that's what the teachers made us do, and I did find it quite useful. And another thing is trying to trying to like immerse yourself in the kind of media of that language. For example, Japanese, like watching Japanese dramas or anime and stuff. And with subtitles is fine as well. At least for me, I used to I started like that, watching things in, for example, English with subtitles, and then I naturally developed the ability of understanding it without subtitles. I think it's like the same for me in Japanese. What I know of Japanese is just because I used to watch so much anime when I was younger. I I used to just watch anime even more than socializing. Like sometimes my friends would talk to me and I would just ignore them because I was watching anime. It was like, ah, so annoying. Stop talking to me. I'm watching anime. And that's like how I learned to understand a lot of it without the need of subtitles. But still, there's a lot of things that I cannot understand because I haven't formally learned it. I wish I did though. It's like one of my dreams to learn to speak Japanese. でも時間がない. That reminded me the other day I actually found a book uh, on the bookstore in Apple, and it was like basic Japanese. I haven't gone through a lot of it, just the first chapter, and it had this intro clip that it was so cringe but so hilarious. Wait. Um, What? What? How did I even draw that hand? Okay, okay, I made a mistake. And it was so cringe because it was like this foreign guy that was going to this new like school, university, I don't know what it was. And he was kind of lost and find this girl that it was called Sakura, and the guy was like in love with her, and she was like uh introducing herself and gave him her hand, and they shook hands, and then he like just stared at his hand like, oh my god, I touched a Japanese girl, and it was so freaking cringe. I was laughing so hard. That's why I don't like clips in educational stuff because it's so cringe. Ah, did the playlist stop? Yeah, it's but a different one. So yeah, it's so cringe. You hear Mandarin is one of the hardest languages to learn? It actually is, but it's not hard in like the ways that people often think is hard. Uh, for example, grammar is really easy in Mandarin. What is hard is in the things that you don't expect it. For example, grammar in Spanish is, I would say, is harder than Chinese and than Japanese and than English. And verbs conjugations are also really hard in Spanish. You have to learn a lot of it. Um, but in Chinese, grammar is really easy. I did talk about it in a past stream, so I won't like repeat myself. But what is difficult is in the tones, because one word can mean a lot of different things, uh, and it can be like read in different ways. Like for example, in this context is read in this way, and in this other context is read in this other different way. So this is really complicated. Um, and the pronunciation of certain things, like there's words that have the same pronunciation, but of course it's going to change depending on the context. So context is really important in Chinese. And as a beginner, sometimes it's like hard to like think in the moment. It's hard to understand things fast. Ah, that was the pinky. I'm getting hungry. That's probably because my lunch, I bought delivery, and I bought two things, and one of them was the vegan option, uh, which I sometimes buy the vegan options not because I'm vegan, but because I like vegan stuff. Um, and I had this like, it was tomato, like field tomato. I don't know how you say it. And that was with salad. And to be honest, it wasn't enough. You're so little. That's what I don't like about vegan stuff, is that it's so little, so little. It never gets you totally full. Then is when you understand why horses and cows and generally herbivores eat all day, because it doesn't have to, like, it doesn't feed you all that much. Even if you have like the enough calories for yourself, it's never enough. You gotta be eating constantly to have your tummy full. But now that I think about it, was it really vegan? It said that it was vegan, but I think the feeling of that tomato was tuna. Was it tuna though? Maybe it was something that looked like tuna and tastes like tuna, but wasn't tuna. I'm trying to remember how what the position of of the pen was. Uh, okay, so the middle finger was on top, and the index finger was. But it doesn't make sense because it's like it has to be straight, not whatever. I just draw it. It's just one scene, anyways. Nobody's going to notice. It's funny because I learned how to flick the pen, uh, how to fiddle with a pen, just so I could draw this, and still not quite accurate. I'm still not that good at doing it though, but I've been practicing. I always wanted to learn how to fiddle with pens. Like some people do it and it looks so cool, but I'm really bad at like mechanic things with my hands. For example, I just learned this year how to properly shuffle cards, and I'm learning though. I'm getting better at it, but I'm still not that good. I'm getting hungry. This funny thing is I'm learning Mandarin and Japanese at the same time. Isn't that confusing? I would get always get things mixed up because I did a little bit of self-learning of Japanese, and when I started learning Mandarin, I forgot all my Japanese. I mixed them up in my mind. Sometimes I use Japanese and sometimes I use Mandarin. This is really weird. English is not hard. English is really easy. English is not hard. I would say English is one of the easiest languages to learn. The only like difficulty I think that there is in English is probably pronunciation. And because English is not phonetic, then sometimes pronunciation can be really hard. And I would say irregular verbs because sometimes they change and sometimes they don't. That's like the most difficult parts in English. But I would say the most hard, the hardest languages to learn from what I've heard, besides Mandarin, is Russian. Because I had a friend that was learning Chinese. I was learning and did go to a Russian course for quite a while, and he said it was really hard. I'm telling you, this guy spoke Spanish. He wasn't even a Chinese descendant. And he learned Mandarin. He was better at it than me because he was there like a lot of years before than I was. And he himself said that Russian was really hard. And he did know English as well. I'm hungry. It's nice to learn Mandarin in my school program, so it's pretty fun and not too hard. Oh, it's nice that you have it in your school. Although, is it from the Confucius Academy? Because like I've heard that those are kinda really heavily communist influenced. I would say influenced. Still stuck in Spanish? Let's practice. I can help you. I prepare for this so I have more really bad jokes plans. What was I going to say? Bring them on! Bring them on! Bring those jokes on. As long as you enjoy Spanish. Very mice. Mice. Not gonna lie, you reminded me of my brother. Why? But to be fair, that man can speak Japanese fluently. Wow, that's cool. I used to be a really like heavyweight. I've used to just watch anime by myself for years and years. I stopped watching a lot of it when I started reading manga. Coming from nowadays, I don't really have much time to watch anime, anyways. But talking about anime, I started watching this series recently. I'm still stuck in one panel. I mean, this is the second one, but I should be faster. What was I saying? Yeah, I started to watch this series that I wanted to watch for a long time. It's called Jujutsu. What was the name? Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. I started to watch this anime called Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's really fun. It's funny because it reminds me of a lot of animes. Like for example, the protagonist reminds me of Natsu from Fairy Tail. Uh, and the black hair dude reminds me to I forgot his name. Megumi? What was his last name? His name is Megumi, but I forgot his last name. Um, Reminds me of Sasuke, and actually a lot of my pencil almost fell. He's a lot of things from this anime reminds me of Naruto. Like for example, the protagonist has something inside him that reminds me a lot of Kyubi, and uh, my eyes are going crazy because the light is hitting my face. I ah ah the light is hitting my face. Is it okay? That's kind of better, I think. So yeah, what is inside the main the protagonist's body reminds me of QB because he is kinda OP, and he helps the kinda useless protagonist, in quotes, useless, to be more OP in the beginning, uh, and make him like special, although he was already kind of special to begin with, and the guy also can like talk to what is inside him, like the courses, the course. I'm watching it with Spanish subtitles, so I don't know what they call it in English, the translation. Um, what the heck is this anatomy? To be honest, I'm like cringing so hard. It did look good when he was in sketch, right? But why does it look so weird when looks kind of weird when he's in lines? I think because the face is bigger, maybe it's that. I hate it when the sketch look like decent and then you do the line art and it looks awful. So yeah, it really reminds me to QB and stuff. And one of the characters reminds me to, what was the name of the protagonist of Tokyo Ghoul? Kaneki Ken, the the dude that has like this, that uses the ability with his voice and says like just random words, random food words. The sakana, sakana, tuna, and that's all that he says. I did change some things in the line, so maybe that's why. Maybe if I do it like hit this. Hmm. And it. Maybe. Maybe now it looks better. Hmm. It's still kind of weird. Is that Isabel's voice? Yeah, that's kind of better. I think. I'm kind of so hungry that I cannot think properly. What time is it? 7:21. Gonna go eat at 8. So yeah, I've been really enjoying that anime out of late. Um, Jujutsu Kaisen. And I feel like the manga is going to be better, but I want to finish the anime before I read the manga. Oh my god, I smell food. I think it's from my neighbor's house. Is it? the window is open and smell food. They're probably making dinner. Ah, that makes me even more hungry. Not fair. My stomach is rumbling. Ah, I think that's decent. but but what about the table? Do I not have a table here? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Table. Okay. We got a table. And then erase the codes. And my favorite character from that anime is Gujo. He's so he's just so he's like I don't know, he's like handsome and funny, uh and kind of crazy. And when he has kind of like that twisted personality, but you know that he is like super OP and does this like joking kind of character just to hide how OP he is or something like that. He's that kind of character that jokes around a lot but is actually super OP. Well, everybody knows how OP he is, so yeah. And when he takes his line off, he's so handsome. I really want to make a fan art of him. I I I've been really enjoying that anime out of late. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, he's correct. I just thought that I forgot a finger or something. Coming from no, I read that already? I was like learning Korean and Japanese on the side, and I was like, stop! I would actually find more motivation in learning Korean or Japanese. Spanish? Oh, Spanish is your first language, Itsu? I didn't know. But since I know English more now, I stutter a lot when talking in Spanish. I still stutter a lot when speaking English. I do speak more. I do communicate more in English than Spanish nowadays. Uh, and sometimes it's funny because I know some words that I know some words in English that I don't know in Spanish. So when I'm talking uh, with like my brother or my friends in here that know Spanish, it's kind of like trying to figure out how to say things. It's like, how do you say that in Spanish? And they would be like, but isn't Spanish your main language? And I'd be like, oh, yeah. About that. I'm bilingual, but I am not a pro. Maybe I should change the color. That's kind of better. I really like this background because it reminds me to the library that I used to study in China brings me so much like memories. So many memories, I mean. Please ayúdame. I can feel you just other way around. My first language is English and my second is Spanish. I just wing whatever I say and I hope it's right. That happens to me in Cantonese. I just try to speak it and if it's wrong then whatever. I'm learning Japanese, so I'm getting Japanese confused with Spanish and fusing the two languages at this point. Yeah, I would say that's a common thing in bilingual people or being people that are learning different languages. Favorite romance anime? A favorite one is really hard. Maybe top five. Let's say top five. Nomade Cantabiro. That would be one. Uh, Your Lie in April. In April, that would be two. Lovely Complex, that would be three. Itasuranakis, that would be four. And one more, one more. Mm, one that I've watched several times. Oh! Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun. Was it Tonari ni Kaibutsu-kun or Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun? I think it's no, Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun. The monster in Next to Me? I think that's the name in English. I'm not sure. I generally learn the names in Japanese, so I don't really know the names in English. But Tonarini is like next to me, and Kaibutsu-kun is like monster. That one is so good. Nagoya is waifu. Wait, was Nagoya a girl or was it a boy? Whatever it is, Nagoya is waifu. Nagoya was best. It was best chicken. We say best boy or best girl, but it's a chicken, so Nagoya is best chicken. I would say those are like the top five that I can come up with in the top of my mind. I generally like the manga versions more than the anime versions, but the anime versions of those are pretty good. And the music is good too. Even if they never finished Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun, but it was still one of the best. I haven't watched like any recent ones, or at least I haven't found any recent ones that I've enjoyed more than the manga. Not that for example Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun I did enjoy more than the manga. I would say I enjoy it like equally. Ah, the chat disappeared. I love Lovely Complex, best kiss scene ever. The bad thing is that it never finished. Like they never finished the manga in anime version. That would be like the sad part. But yeah, that anime is so good. As we talk about Jujutsu Kaisen, the the chat scrolled like all the way down, so I missed a lot of messages. Soy hambre también porque no, tengo hambre. Tengo hambre. You don't say you say in English I am hungry, uh but in Spanish you would say tengo hambre, like I have hunger. Something like that. So tengo hambre is I'm hungry. If you translate it like directly from I am hungry, would be more like estoy hambriento. Because I am can be soy, or it can be like estar, estar. He's too pretty. Do you mean Gojo? Best teacher. True, true, pure facts. Send what? Did I miss a message? Send what? Did I miss something? I'm as lost as as the chat is. What is going on? I'm lost. I wanted to like go back in the chat to know what is happening, but I'm super lost as well. Hello, IR. IR. Since the use of different languages are in almost completely separate circumstances. Yeah, that's true. I put some sleeping pills in his drink. Lol. That isn't that illegal? What are you guys talking about? Last anime I watched, I'm watching right now, Jujutsu Kaisen. So that's the last anime I've been watching. Before that, it was Tower of God, but I didn't finish it. Gojo Satoru. Mia, please watch the show so we can talk about it. Yeah, it's a pretty nice anime. And it's so funny. Oh, and the ending, the both opening, the first openings and endings are both like so good. Especially the ending. So it makes you groove. When people die and then like everybody is grooving. It's so funny. Lost in paradise. I was trying to learn the rap, but it is really hard. I'm almost there. I'm trying to learn both songs in the guitar, so I can like play them for you guys. Gotcha fanar? Gotcha fanar where? Tag me. You wanna watch Lovely Complex? You should watch Lovely Complex. It's a classic. And you'll like cry laughing. It's really funny. I think it's 24 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. No. It's not that the chat is in a delay. It's me that I'm trying to catch up with the chat because I thought I missed something, and I tried to read back at it and still lost. I'm gonna draw Gojo after I finish this episode. Like he's so. I want to draw him like lifting his blindfold, or and also lifting like with his sunglasses. Yeah, I did say that yesterday. The song is super fun. Yeah, I love it so much. I've been like listening to it non-stop. I finally got up with the chat. No, I already saw all the simping. Don't worry, I saw all the simping. um, what kind of pen was I trying to draw here? Maybe I just draw like a regular pen. Like this, maybe. Yeah, let's just go for that. Let's just leave it like that. But but gotta finish the hand. I'm really enjoying that anime right now. Is even in the serious parts, it cracks up some funny jokes, and it's like serious but lighthearted. I think I forgot the neck. Yep, I forgot the neck. And there's a part of the face that is missing, but we're gonna cover it with hair, so I don't have to draw it properly. Yes. But this part of the that part of the hair was in the front, so I gotta erase those. That's better. Eh, 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 eh. Feel like something is missing, but I don't know what. By the way, what happened with Motherbird? In the end, my brother didn't change the motherboard. He did change the processor. He used to have a i5, and now he has an i9, I believe, which is super good for me. Um, and he did change the cooling system and uh, the cabinet, like the outside of the computer. And he kind of messed up the motherboard while changing all the stuff. So he was planning on changing it for a different one, but in the end he didn't. So now the USB ports in the front part of the cabinet, or I would say the top part, are kind of non-functioning. Just one of them works, and the other like kind of works sometimes and kind of not. One of the USB 3 ports don't work at all, and the other ones work sometimes. Gonna try again tomorrow probably to see if the other two work. But yeah, one of the USB don't work at all because he messed up a part of the motherboard that it was connecting the USB. Uh, and he was supposed to change it last week, but in the end he didn't. So in the end, I waited for nothing last week. I could have streamed last week, but he said he was going to change it, and in the end, he didn't. So So yeah, the motherboard is still the same. It's just kind of the USBs are kind of messed up. I also see him for Geto and Megumi. Is it Geto is the one with the tattoo in next to his mouth, right? Because I sim for him too. And for Megumi too. They are all so handsome. And I kinda sim for Nanami as well. A little bit. Just a little bit. Should you get Instagram? Instagram is kinda shit, but it still is the platform, like the social media that I have more following. Is this bubblegum? 시간 기르네. Yeah, it's bubblegum. Like it's a platform that I used to share more. I have Twitter, but I always forget that I use Twitter, that I have a Twitter. I don't go in Twitter much because I don't like the either the politics of Twitter, the policy. I don't like a lot of political stuff that is shoved down your throat in Twitter. Like I just want to go to see fandoms and anime and art, but sometimes and K-pop, and sometimes it's like political stuff is just thrown to your face, and you're like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this, please. But it's just so like can explain. He's just easygoing, funny, handsome, overpowered, and like just yes for everything, yes. Nanamin. I think we are just talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. And Mahito has the blue hair with stitches. Isn't like white hair? But I don't know. Mahito is just too much. It's just too much. Any social media is better than Twitter now. Mm, I don't know. I would say that right now most social media suck. Cause I'm really angry with Instagram, but I do like it more than Twitter. Um, but at the same time, what I don't like about Instagram is like the Facebook part of Instagram, like the algorithm, and I don't know, everything that Facebook, like Mark Zuckerberg, touches is it becomes trash. So I've been really mad with the algorithm lately because hashtags haven't worked for me for several posts now, and it's so frustrating that um that I cannot share because even if hashtags and reaching doesn't work for me, one of the things that I did enjoy the most in Instagram is sharing posts with people, like sharing art that I like and sharing my own posts so people can see them. And I cannot do that anymore. And it's so like unfair that some people can do it and some people cannot. Like, why? Why isn't it like just for everyone the same? And with that, I mean to bring back the sharing function. It's like most of the times I'm like scrolling on Instagram and I see an artwork or a meme that I like a lot and I want to share it with my friends and with my followers and stuff, and I cannot. And it's like a daily reminder that I cannot share. It's just so sad. I'm so mad with Facebook, but I still use it because like right now is one of the only ways that I can share my art besides webcomics. But it's like, what's the use of having so many followers if most of them cannot even see my post? Like now, most of my posts are reaching like at most 1 to 100,000 people, no more than that. And hashtags are not working for me at all. Why are y'all talking about Jujutsu Kaisen? Because it's so good! Ah. Have we ever talked about K-pop yet? I think I've mentioned it, but not like talk about it. But we've mentioned it like BTS songs and stuff. When I had like the BTS soundtrack in the back. Hello Noir, no Noir, Noir, Noir tree. The dragons are so cute. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Popping off about Instagram, you mean? Probably. I'm really mad with Instagram. But I'm trying not to complain a lot because the more I complain, the less the algorithm works for me. The more shadow ban I get. Like for real, the when I say anything political or when I mention any complaints about Instagram, uh, like the 2 or 3 posts after that, I have super little reach, like super little reach. And the late post, like the last post uh that I had, um, all the last posts that I had, it's been like 5 already that I barely get any reach. And it's so unfair because I cannot share anything either. Like if my posts aren't reaching people, even I just want my post to reach my followers. Like how hard is that? And the algorithm that made your post not visible for your own followers is there for more than a year now. So what artists would do would be share in stories because a lot of people can see your stories and cannot see your post. So when they see your art in stories, they will click on them and like the post. But now a lot of accounts, including mine, cannot share at all. So it's like we are basically invisible. And it's like so frustrating because um like I put a lot of effort on my Instagram and I was doing pretty well until before the hiatus, and then when I came back I actually did have reach uh for about 2 or 3 posts. I had a really decent reach, but the more I post the less reach I have, so it's really weird. And I would say that it was because of my of me popping off about how stupid the hashtag ban was. And after that, I've been on and off shadow banned. This is really fun. This is really fun. I'm joking. I used to have Insta, but I quickly deleted it. Uh, it depends on what you use Insta. I do have like breaks from Instagram from time to time, but I do have a second account just to like see stores. Like a lot of stores work in Instagram and stuff, so like clothing store or especially snack stores. There's some snack stores that bring like Asian snacks, and I will buy from time to time, especially when I'm depressed. Snacks are the best when you're depressed. But dude, the last snacks that I bought are so bad. I bought some Thai, like some Thai fish, fish crackers or fish chips. And I generally like fishy flavors, but those, I swear to God, they taste like cereal with fish flavor. The texture is so bad, and the flavor is so. But it feels like eating cereal, but with fish flavor, and it's awful. And I bought two of those, and I still haven't eaten the second one, and I don't know if I'm going to eat them at all. I bought some fried fried squid snack. I really like squid snacks, but those are really bad. The ones that I got are really bad. I did get some rice rice snacks that are shrimp flavor, and those are really good. Those I liked a lot, and I already ate. Oh, and I bought a box of those naughty rolls, but I like the naughty rolls, so I know that they are always going to be good. And they did bring the regular flavor because for months they only had like spicy and sweet flavor, and I do like those, but my favorite is the regular flavor, the regular seaweed flavor. Those are like seaweed nori rolls, and I like it because it's like crunchy. Hair looks kind of weird. That's better, I think. We used to see drawings on like small artists, but nowadays it's so hard to for small artists to grow on Instagram, to be honest. You have committed wrong thinking. Go to Gap, I guess. But I am on Gap. Uh, I can have a little bit more of like political freedom on Gap, but like right now the platform is not like the most I would say artist friendly. Not that they reject artists, but it's like kind of difficult to work around. Uh, like because people there are more interested in political talk and not so much with random talk and art and stuff. Oh, hello, Coffee. Didn't see you there. Sorry. Yeah, Instagram ruined it, especially for artists. Instagram stories are amazing. Yeah, they were one of the better features of Instagram. They were so fun. I know the seaweed roll snacks. They are so good. They are one of my favorite snacks ever. I've just got flooded by teens or millions of political refugees, but I think it's going to normalize in a couple of months. Yeah, I think if more people keep coming, it's going to normalize. I hope more people do come to Gap though. I think it's a really nice platform, but like because people were banned from everywhere, then because they couldn't talk about politics anywhere else, they go to Gap. But I hope more people go just because of the platform and less because of like the political talk. I just think I'm very fond of ocean taste. Me too. There's people that hate it. Like there's people that don't like seaweed or fishy kind of flavors at all, squid and stuff. But I love it. But it depends. It really depends, like texture and the right kind of flavor. And those snacks that I got are just not it. They are just not it. Like it was borderline disgusting. So I'm still debating if I'm going to finish them or just throw them away or give them away. But I don't think my brother are going to like them either. And my mom is surely not going to like it. But I feel so bad in wasting them. So I thinking maybe I'm just gonna eat them just because I don't want to waste them. But they are so bad. I regret getting them so much. What is better, Insta or Twitter? I would say Twitter is really bad. Like, Twitter is really toxic. Actually, most of the cancel culture and stuff is done by Twitter, and you cannot have real conversations in there. Yeah, the thing is, like, in Twitter, people go to have conversations, quote unquote conversations, and in Instagram people share like pictures and more like about their lives or art or like photography and stuff. Or at least for me, I use it uh, to share art and see art, and uh, there is where all my artist friends are. So but Twitter, yeah, you can share art in there. A lot of people are interested in that. I don't know how to work around like the algorithm and stuff, but a lot of people do use it for art. Um, but at the same time, you get exposed to a lot of content that you don't really like, are you're not really interested in, and I don't like that. They push certain narratives and certain opinions and not others, and they make you feel like those are all the opinions that are out there. But when you actually talk to people, it's not like that. When you actually talk to people, the world is like more different than you think, and they censure for a side and not for another. Um, and sometimes you're going to agree, and sometimes you don't. In my opinion, I don't agree with censorship, but it's kind of weird because there's things that they censor that are exactly the same in certain topics than in others, but they censor it because like it's a different country and the establishment in those countries don't agree with that. And for me, it should be like the same for everyone and everything. Like why are some protests in some countries censored but not in others? Things like that. So in the end, it's like you end up feeling that there's not freedom of speech or opinion or anything in Twitter, except if you want to talk about random things. And for example, K-pop, like for fandoms, is pretty good, but at the same time, I feel like it amplifies negativity. Yeah, that would be like my main complaint about Twitter is that it amplifies negativity. Like voices that in real life wouldn't be taken seriously because it could perfectly be a 12-year-old that knows nothing about life and goes there criticizing everyone. like for example idols and stuff for life decisions that they had, I don't know, years ago, or for random things, or even negative things like talking about their bodies and stuff. And in real life, you wouldn't have such a platform to do that, and you would be judged for that. But in Twitter, suddenly you can do that. And yeah, there's going to be accountability sometimes, regulation for some fandoms and stuff, but at the same time, in real life, those kind of opinions wouldn't be amplified to begin with. So it's like it has Twitter is weird because you can do great things in Twitter. For example, charity and stuff had been accomplished in Twitter that hadn't been possible in the past. But at the same time, that it can amplify the good, it can also do it in the bad things. And I wouldn't disagree with it if it was like the same for every kind of issue, but it's really biased. So yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Conclusion is that I like Instagram more, but that's like my personal preference. And I wouldn't have like a issue with it if it didn't push certain narratives to me that I necessarily don't agree with. And it's like in YouTube, in YouTube and Instagram, if you don't want to see something, you just don't see it. In Twitter, you see it anyways. It's like, why? I'm not in Twitter because of this. Why do you push this to me? And for example, I generally try to stay away about the negative and toxic stuff. But sometimes because you're in a fandom, for example, I'm in BTS and TXT fandom, um, then the same fans that are like in your same positive kind of circle will share negative things just to criticize them, and it's like I just don't want to see it. Please don't. Why do you share them? Why do you give them a voice? And like I understand that it makes you mad, but why do you give them a voice? So yeah, I just really don't like Twitter. I just don't really like Twitter at all. But the sad part is that you are really in those platforms because the communities are there, and they mainly like exist there. For example, the Vtuber community is really big in Twitter. I try like to get into it, but I just don't know how it works. I guess I'm just too old for these things, man. Just too old to understand them. The more you get old, the more you feel old, right? Genius quotes. Ignoring the controversy, whenever you do see and interact with people, people can be so wholesome and there's a lot of amazing art. Yeah, that's true. But only in places like Twitter you can find breathtaking people criticizing artists for just the stupidest things ever and try to cancel artists for the stupidest things ever, which is like so sad. But I think as long as people have like the mental fortitude to stay away from that negativity, then Twitter can be a good platform. Like for real, nowadays people in Twitter are just crazy. They just try to um cancel everyone for some reason. It's like, why do you live your life like that? What's the point? Like, people try to cancel Sakimi-chan because she does like uh, lewd kind of content, like girls with big boobs and stuff. And it's like, dude, Sakimi-chan objectifies women and men uh, in the same proportional way because it's the content that her fans want, and I actually do enjoy it a lot. And of course, it's like exaggerated because it's artistical preference. If you don't like the artist, don't follow them. But it's like their freedom to do whatever they want. But with that, like, kind of mindset of cancel culture, you're going to kill artists and art just for the sake of political correctness. And it's like, I know that the word is not all pretty girls and all pretty words, but it's my art and I choose to do whatever I want. Like, I draw because I would like pretty things, and if you don't like that, then don't follow that person. It's so obvious. It's the same for Instagram. Um, it said that the reason that they took down the ability of sharing posts for some people is because some people of the community complained that there was like too many stories. And it's like, who? One, who the hell? And second, if you don't like if you don't like the stories that a person shares, then just don't follow them. Isn't like such an easy solution? If you don't like what someone thinks or someone shares, just don't follow them. Block them and don't follow them. Why do you have to ruin it for everyone else? It's so dumb. Um, um, looks kind of weird. Does it? Um, maybe. Yeah, it looks kind of weird in here. Feel like one eye is bigger than the other. Is it? But which one is the one that is too big? I think this one. Maybe? Yeah, that's better. I think. Not gonna think too much about it. Just to finish it. Gonna finish this one and I'm gonna end the stream because I'm really hungry. And dinner time, do you know what dinner time means? Dinner time means Jujutsu Kaisen time. I'm in episode 14, I believe, or 13. Is that better? Hmm. It looks weird, but whatever. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Now that I think about it, did I draw the Okay, you cannot see it. You cannot see it. Because I remember that I said that I wanted to change the position of the clock because it was in the right hand and I want to make it in the left hand. So the left hand in this case would be this one. I guess you wouldn't like see it too much, would you? It's barely visible. Thank God. Uh, who's going? Oh, Angie. Thanks for coming to the stream. I don't know if you uh are still here, but thanks for coming to the stream and eat your meals. Um, Sayonara. In the online toxicity comes from the nature of online interaction, since whoever you're talking to is just represented by some text. Yeah, and a lot of people do say things online that they wouldn't say in person because, like, the mask of anonymity is quite easily demonstrated that when people lose anonymity, especially when others can see their faces, they become more polite. Yeah. It's sad because we should always be polite. At least for me, I try to be the same with the same kind of like values that I have online that I use in real life. But some people are just not like that. Some people use the anonymity as a shield, and it shouldn't be that way. You should mean what you say, and you should mean it however and wherever you say it. And also consider like that the people that you're talking to are humans too, because a lot of times when you are behind a screen, it kind of takes away the human aspect of it. Some people do forget that the other people are actually people. Like the people that is behind the screen, for example, that do your comics, that upload videos, that write comments, those are all people. Well, not all of them, because in Twitter you have a lot of bots. So no, not a lot of them. Not all of them are real people. Some people are bots, some people are trolls, and behind a mass of anonymity, you just cannot really know. So yeah, some people use that for their advantage and act like assholes online. But at the same time, is one of like the benefits of internet is that could um you could you could be someone else. For example, a Vtuber can be someone else. Of course, people have like different reasons for being Vtubers. For myself, it's just that um, I don't want to care about the way that I look always. I want people like to like me and stuff, not for the way that I look, but more for who I am. And I went off topic. I was that reminded me. That was what I was talking with a friend the other day. That he said that if I streamed my face, I would probably get more subscribers and stuff. And I was like, dude, I don't really want more subscribers. I just want to hang out with people no matter how I look like. I don't want people to like me or my art because they like how I look like. I used to be really self-conscious about that because when I use Facebook, my art account would a lot of times be linked with my personal account. So when I share my art account in art forums and stuff, I would share it with my personal account. And a lot of people would like follow me because it was me and not because of my art. Um, I would feel really sad because of that, because it's like I would feel like I don't deserve it, because when your art is good, it's for your own personal effort. When you look good, is yeah, it's part because of that, but it's too because the way of that you are born, and that's not something like it's not something that you chose, right? It's not something that you put effort in, and it's not really something that I would like to be proud of because it's like superficial. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. It's just like my um personal opinion on insecurities and stuff. Because I would feel like maybe my art wasn't good enough, that I would need to look good to be able to present my art. And no, the art should be different from the artist, right? Where's the background? What was the background? What was I talking about that anyways? I forgot. Wait guys, I gotta go cause my sis is taking me somewhere to learn how to teach my demon doggos. Will I come back alive? I don't know. Find next time of Dragon Ball Z. Kinda old, isn't it? Hope you can learn though. Have fun. The most important part is having fun while learning. I never get tired watching your stream. It's kinda late, isn't it? 1 a.m. And I'm glad that you're having fun. I'm having fun as well. I always have fun talking to people while drawing. I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. But let's put some glow in the back to separate a little bit the. Oh no, I'm gonna do that when the colors are finished. Yeah, we done. You wake up at 1 a.m. Why? And more Patreon streams. Uh, yeah, I should. I actually. I was thinking that the other day that I should be careful with what I say because I could get my Patreon terminated, and that's kind of scary because I get my Webtoon money from Patreon. Do what you want to do, of course, but all I will say is we will like you the same with or without seeing how you look. I actually did stream for a while with my face, but I find it more fun to do it as a VTuber. It's Frank sees Frank left with freaking iPod upstairs, and I went to. Is it really? My name is Amy. What? I don't believe it. A Monero wallet so you can never be censored. What is that? But the thing is like in Webtoon you can either transfer your money on Patreon or on PayPal. Uh, and I have it in Patreon because in PayPal is kind of complicated for me. So yeah, I cannot lose that platform. Anyways, I'm gonna Monero is just an anonymous cryptocurrency. Oh, I don't know how crypto works. I really want to get into crypto and stuff, but I just don't know how it works. Stocks and crypto are just things that I don't understand at all. Two two siblings think alike. No, I wouldn't say that. Me and my me and my brother think really differently, really differently. But there's things that we agree and there's things that we are really different. So I would say that we do right quite differently though, especially since well, besides the genre, like because I'm a girl and he's a guy, so that's one thing. But yeah, anyways, gonna leave the stream here, cause I'm really hungry. Wanna have dinner and watch Jujutsu Kaisen. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming to the stream today. I had a lot of fun. I really miss y'all so much. Gotta shout out my patrons before going away. I hope the screen works. Is the mic still on? Yeah, the mic still on. So yeah, for 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 Clover Tier, thank you Aisha, Benjamin, Jacqueline, Kevin, Nesitani, for Crouchier, Jessica, and Saima, for Luthier, Angelica, Ariana, Ciara, Claude, Hannah, Helen, Irla, Jacqueline, Jasmine, Kate, Carly, Kelsey, Marcel, Mary, MT, Brina, Savannah, Birch, Stella, Sydney, Tisha, Basin, Vix, for John here, Eva, and Bonafide Chuck. For me, I always say that name fully because it's so fun. Uh, love that name. For Nina tier, Amy, Audrey, Midnight, and for Noxer tier, Frank, and IR. So thank you everyone for coming to the stream. If you want to support me on Patreon for streaming and doing webtoons and stuff, and for also my exclusive not safe for work comic, Ecchi webtoon, you can go to Patreon and support me there. And if you want to check my webtoons, such as the one that I was drawing today, the links are in the description. And follow me on social media to keep up with me. The one that I use the most is Instagram. So the links are also in the description. So thanks everyone for coming. I had a lot of fun today. Uh, you saw a teaser and it was very spicy. Yeah, is the second episode is really spicy and um explicit. Yeah. So yeah, I have a lot of fun drawing those. And what else I say? So yeah, I had a lot of fun today in the stream and I miss y'all so much. I hopefully will stream tomorrow. If not in Saturday, but most likely I will be here tomorrow since I couldn't be here yesterday, since I was doing the settings and testing the audio and stuff. And when I finish this episode, I'm gonna stream do a singing stream. So yeah, I'm still deciding what songs I want to do this time. Yeah. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye. Thanks for coming. Eat your meals and have a nice day, afternoon, or wherever you are. Have a nice life. I don't know. Bye bye. Bye bye.